Are you wondering what kind of yoga practice you can do to complement your full moon rituals? In today's video, I'll show you some of my favorite yoga poses that will really help you to release for this next full moon. In this practice, we'll be focusing on releasing old emotions or emotional baggage. For more yoga practices like this one, make sure that you subscribe and hit the little bell to get notifications so that you know every time I post a new video. In today's practice, we'll be using an affirmation. The affirmation that we'll use is, I lovingly release old emotions. This will really help to just intensify and bring some more energy to the intention of releasing those old emotions and helping you to harness the power of the full moon. The full moon is a great time to focus on releasing because whenever it's full, it's all in color, right? You can see the whole thing. And then after the full moon, it starts to let go or release more and more of itself. So that energy is present for a couple weeks. I really like to do a practice like this for 1 to 3 days leading up to the full moon, and then even up to 1 to 2 weeks after the full moon. So let me know in the comments how you enjoyed this practice and if you felt a little bit lighter after you were done. And if you're ready to commit more to your yoga practice, make sure that you click in the link in the description. I've got a free 30-day yoga challenge. Every day you get a new video and it really helps you to stick with it and learn a lot of the basics. All right, yogi, enjoy your practice and have a great day. For today's practice, you'll want to have a yoga strap or anything similar. So you could use an old tie or you could use a belt, anything you have laying around the house, but go ahead and grab that now. For today's practice, let's start in Sukhasana or easy seated pose. Cross your legs, pull the feet back towards the body, and then flex the feet and rest the shins into the arches. Pull the flesh away from your sitting bones and do a big shoulder roll up, back, and then relax the shoulders away from the ears. Reach through the back of the crown of the head to lengthen the spine and have your palms open on your knees today, just signifying that you are ready to release and let go. Close your eyes, let your lips form a slight smile. And start breathing here. Tuning in to how you're feeling. Tuning into what you need from your practice today. Let the breath start to deepen and slow down. As you inhale, let the low ribs expand, mid ribs, upper ribs. Exhale, upper ribs, mid ribs, low ribs. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if that feels okay. Letting the outer body soften, let go of any tension in the face, the shoulders, the neck. And then bring in the intention, your affirmation for your practice. So our intention is to release old emotions. So I'll make that our affirmation. So on your inhale, think, I lovingly release. On your exhale, old emotions. Inhale, I lovingly release. Exhale, old emotions. Continue with the affirmation a few more rounds. Connecting it to your breath. And it's okay if you don't know what these old emotions are. You don't have to come up with a name for it. You don't have to think of them. It doesn't matter. Having that intention to release and let go is enough. And circle your hands together in front of your heart into prayer. Let's begin our practice with one Om. Take a deep breath in. And then you can lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open, and lift your head. Hi, buddy. All right, so now let's move into a seated hip stretch here in Sukhasana. Again, pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Do a big shoulder roll. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, start to tip your pelvis forward. It's almost like you're trying to stick your booty out or lift your tailbone. On your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Tuck the chin slightly to lengthen the neck and breathe here. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose if possible. Anytime though you feel like you need to release, especially in today's practice, since that's the focus, just exhale through the mouth. You can even sigh. So whatever feels good. Making sure you're feeling a stretch in the hips. Maybe the low back and the glutes as well. Slowly come up, switch the cross of the legs. You can make that as fancy as you like. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Big shoulder roll, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the tailbone. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt. Draw the shoulders back gently, tuck the chin slightly. Reach the heart forward. And breathe here. I lovingly release old emotions. Let the face soften, let the jaw relax. And then slowly rise up. You can extend the legs out one more time. And then come onto your hands and knees. Let the wrists be directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. You can uncurl the toes. Moving into cat-cow. On your inhale, start to look out in front of you. Draw the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, look out, tip the pelvis forward. Exhale, round the back. Even feel the stretch in between the shoulders. Inhale, look out. Open the heart. Exhale, round. Do two more. Last one. And then come back to neutral. All right, now we'll move into puppy dog pose. So I'll go through the basic modification first because this is the one most people will do. Keep your hips above your knees in either variation. And then just start to come down. Your forearms can even come onto the mat and then the forehead. Okay, so here you're really focusing on softening the upper back and really just the whole spine. Softening the front of the torso down towards the ground. Now, more advanced variations, you can start to bring the chest to the mat, then the chin. Okay, but that's a lot more advanced, so don't push yourself into that modification, please. Breathe here. Softening on the exhale. Inhale, I lovingly release. Exhale, old emotions. One more breath. Puppy dog poses, Anahatasana. Yeah, and then use your abs and your core to come out of this pose safely. All right, now spread your fingers apart. as far as you can comfortably, and have your pointer fingers pointing straight forward, knuckles pushing into the mat. Walk your knees back a couple inches, curl the toes under. On your inhale, lift your knees and hips up, and on your exhale, push into your knuckles, send the hips up and back. So you're trying to get in a straight line from your wrists up to your hips if possible. That's why I like to bend the knees, because if you have the straight knees, then your back usually rounds. So bend the knees and send the hips up and back. Walk the dog here, alternating. Push one heel down and the other heel down. And then bend the knees again, walk the feet forward towards the front of the mat. Bring your feet as wide as the mat and turn the toes in slightly so the outside edges of the feet are parallel to each other. Hands to your shins. Inhale, reach the heart forward for a flat spine. Bend your knees, interlace your hands behind your back, and exhale, fold forward. Lifting the arms off of the back if possible, maybe even reaching the knuckles up towards the sky. Just go as far as it feels good for you. Draw the shoulders back. Deep breaths here. Feel free to be a little bit fluid with it. So on your inhale, you could even lengthen. Exhale, soften. Now ground down into the feet. Start to raise the back of the head first. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart into prayer. Breathe here, ground down into all four corners of the feet. On your inhale, I lovingly release. Exhale, old emotions. Good. Now, bring your arms by your sides and bring your big toes together to touch if that feels okay for you. Ground down into all four corners of the feet. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold. You can bend the knees a little bit so you can tip your pelvis forward. It's okay if you don't touch the ground here. Inhale, come halfway up to monkey pose, flat back. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push forward so the shoulders come past the wrists. Lower down with or without the knees, either way. Chest lands first. Elbows rub on the sides on the way down. Uncurl the toes, push into the knuckles. Inhale, chest forward and up, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, come down, do that one more time. Inhale, push into the knuckles, lift forward and up. Exhale, down, curl the toes under. Inhale, push up in a straight line to plank or modified plank. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders away from each other, broadening the upper back. Roll the forearms in. Knuckles heavy. I lovingly release. Hold emotions. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or lightly float to the front of the mat. Big toes touch. Inhale, halfway up, monkey pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. Push into the feet, look out in front of you. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, draw the energy down and into the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up as if you're gazing up towards the full moon. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, come up to a flat back, wherever you need to go for that, monkey pose. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, slowly push forward. Knees can come down or stay up. Exhale, lower, chest lands first, elbows in. Uncurl the toes, 2 rounds of cobra. Inhale, chest forward and up, shoulders back. Exhale, come down. Again, inhale, chest forward and up. Elbows are bent in cobra. Exhale, come down. Curl the toes under. Inhale, push up in a straight line. Keep the elbows in. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep breaths. I lovingly release. Exhale, old emotions. Push into the knuckles, send the hips up and back. And walk the feet in a couple inches. Big toes touch, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or lightly float to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back, monkey pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet. Look out. Inhale, rise all the way up. Gaze up at the full moon or visualize it. Exhale, draw the energy of the moon into the heart. I lovingly release old emotions. All right, now, good job. Let's start to add on. Exhale, ground down to the energy of the earth. Really connect to that stabilizing energy. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back. All right. Good job. Now let's add on, but before we do, grab your strap or whatever you're using for a strap. It's okay if it's not actually a yoga strap. Remember, you can get a belt or a tie, whatever you have. Just place that beside your mat. All right. Exhale, ground down into all four corners. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale, push forward. Lower with or without the knees. Exhale, lower down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, chest forward and up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under. Inhale, push up in a straight line. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, bring your right foot through however you can for a low lunge. You can grab it and bring it through. And then place the back knee down, curl the back toes under, and rise up. All right, so if you need more padding under your left knee, feel free to put a towel under it, a yoga blanket, or fold your mat over. Now lengthen your tailbone down. Start to push your right knee forward. If it goes past the ankle, just walk your right foot forward a little bit more. Make sure that you don't dump into the low back. So you don't want your tailbone pointing up in this pose. You want your pelvis to be neutral and your tailbone pointing more down like it would be if you were standing in mountain pose. Hands to the heart. Breathe here. Really focusing on feeling a stretch in the back leg here and the quad and the hip flexor. Warming up the hip flexor, stretching the quad. Good. Now bring both hands down inside of the right foot. Walk the right foot over. Now walk the left knee back even a little bit more if you can and turn the right toes out slightly. Make sure that the right knee is pointing in the same direction as the right toes for lizard pose. Keep the hips square here. Try not to fall off to the side. Now feel free to either do some pulses or bring your forearms onto blocks if you have them or onto the ground. Again, keep the knee right on top of the ankle. Don't let it fall out. Squeeze it in and breathe here. Keep the hips square. Keep breathing. I lovingly release old emotions. And come back up onto the hands. Okay, so now this is going to be a little bit of a tricky transition. We're going to move into half Lord of the Fishes pose, which is a twist. So I'm just walking my right foot back a little bit. And then what you'll do is start to come to seated on the left hip first, then sit all the way down. All right, so I realize I'm probably backwards to you right now, so don't focus on that, but your right knee is up and your left knee is under. Bring your right hand behind. Have all four corners of the right foot on the mat and both sitting bones rooted down as well. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the heart. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Now, if it's possible to hook the arm over the leg without rounding the back, feel free to do that. Breathe here. You can just look back to where it feels good for you. All right, now come back to center, but keep the legs like that for a moment. All right, now start to bring the knees so that they're more right on top of each other. This is why we needed the strap. So again, keep both sitting bones rooting down into the mat. Now grab your strap. And in your left hand, bring the strap up, bend the left elbow. Okay, now I'm going to turn around so that you can see what I'm doing from here. So bend the left elbow, reach back with the right hand, right palm faces away from you. Hold on to the strap. Now pull the bottom arm up and walk the hands closer together. Bottom hand up, walk the hands closer together. Maybe you can grab, maybe not. It's pretty hard to grab, so please don't worry about that. You just want to focus on feeling a stretch. Keep the chest lifted. We tend to round in this pose to get a deeper bind. Keep the chest lifted. Now on your inhale, lengthen, and on your exhale, start to tip the pelvis forward, feeling a stretch here in the hips. Keep reaching the heart forward. Don't let the back round. Now release the strap, but keep your legs how they are. And then just lean forward, deepening the stretch here in the hips. Tilt the pelvis forward, lift the tailbone, shoulders back, and breathe. All right, good. Now come up. Now what we'll do is come back, bring your hands towards the front of your mat again. Push into your right foot, step back into your downward facing dog, bring your feet as wide as your mat, and walk it out. Shift your hips from side to side. All right, now bring your feet back towards center. Bend the knees, inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, however you can, left foot through, low lunge. Right knee down, curl the back toes under for stability. Rise up, lengthen the tailbone so the pelvis is neutral, and push the left knee forward so that it ends up right on top of the ankle if possible. Hands to the heart, and breathe here, focusing on the stretch in the right quad, and then warming up that hip flexor. All right, good. Bring both hands down inside the left foot, walk the left foot over, turn the left toes off of the mat slightly, and bring your right knee back. Now make sure the left knee is pointing in the same direction as the toes. Again, you can do little pulses here. Come onto blocks or onto the forearms on the ground. Keep the hips square and breathe. I lovingly release old emotions. Relax the face, soften into the pose. Make sure you're not feeling pain. Slowly come up. All right, now we're going to turn to face the other way, starting to come into your half Lord of the Fishes pose. Okay, so this time, left knee is on top. And the left foot, all four corners of the left foot are into the mat. Okay, right knee is pointing straight forward. Now bring your left hand behind, hold on to the right knee, or onto your left knee. On your inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. So your left hand is behind, your right hand, or your right arm is hooking over the opposite knee. On your inhale, lengthen, exhale, tilt. Keep the chest lifted. Again, only do what you can with the right arm so that you don't round the back. You don't want to hook the arm and then you round and cave into the pose. I lovingly release old emotions. All right, good. Now, moving into Bakasana, cow face pose. So now you'll cross the right foot all the way over. The foot's not going to be, four corners of the feet won't be on the ground anymore. Grab the strap now in your right hand. So your left knee's over, your right arm is going to go up. So it's the opposite. Okay, bend the right elbow, reach back with your left hand, the palm faces away from you. Hold on, pull the left arm up, walk the hands closer. Left arm up, walk the hands closer. Remember not to round the back to get a deeper bind. Keep the chest lifted. It doesn't matter if you make the bind with your hands or not. Breathe here. On your inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, tilt the pelvis forward slightly. Starting to bring some stretch into the hips as well as the shoulders. Relax the face. I lovingly release old emotions. And then release the arms, but keep the legs how they are. Okay, and then let's go a little bit deeper with the hips here. I'll turn and face you. On your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt the pelvis like you're trying to stick the booty out. Now you might be able to go a lot further in this pose than I can. I don't have to go far at all to feel a stretch. So I'm just going to stay right here, and I'm totally fine with that. Remember, anytime you feel the need, exhale through the mouth, let it go. All right, now you're going to turn to face the front of your mat again. I kind of shifted around, so just start to walk your hands out towards the front of your mat. Walk yourself back to your downward facing dog. Bring your feet as wide as your mat and shift it from side to side. I'll come back to meet you guys. Shift it, bending and straightening, alternate legs, full stretch. All right, and just take a couple breaths here in downward facing dog, bringing your feet back towards each other. And then inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders past the wrists, knees can come down. Exhale, lower elbows in. All right, now let's move into, come all the way onto the belly and then come onto the forearm in Sphinx. Now we'll move into a quad stretch here. So fold the left arm in a little bit for stability, bend the right leg, reach back and grab the toes or the ankle. Now if you need to bring the knees apart in order to make that grab, that's okay. Just then bring the knees back so that they're parallel. Tuck the tailbone slightly, bring the pelvis into neutral. That should make you feel more of a stretch. Now, if you still don't feel a stretch here, you could walk your left forearm out a little bit and bring the forehead to the forearm. And breathe. Tuck the tailbone slightly if you need to feel more of a stretch and reach the right knee back. Only if you need more sensation. And then switch it out. Grab what you can. Make sure that the knees are parallel. Go where you need to go to feel sensation. Deep breaths. I lovingly release old emotions. All right, now come back up onto the forearms. So now this time I'm going to give you a little bit more of a modification for more sensation in the shoulders. It's called half frog or Ardha Bakasana, not to be confused with Bakasana, which is crow, Bakasana. So what you do is bend the right knee, reaching the foot up. Okay, now reach your right hand back. Grab the inside of the foot all the way up by the toes. Now watch this. Start to push your right foot in as you bring your elbow in towards the midline. See that? See how my elbow is pointing in towards my body, right? Okay, so the fingers are pointing out. Now from here, your hands are all the way up by your toes. Push it down more and start to rotate the elbow up. Now that might not happen. You might stay right here. That's fine, and just try to square off the chest a little bit, feeling a stretch in the shoulder. Perfect. Awesome. Stay right there. Otherwise, push it down more. Elbow points up. Careful. Don't hurt yourself. Now rotate so that the fingers, so that the knuckles point forward towards the front of the mat. Okay, so this is your half frog. Square off the chest and breathe here. If you're making funny faces and you can't breathe, you've gone too far. Okay, so back out of it if needed. Don't let that ego get in the way and trip you up. Carefully unwind, release, switch it out. Bend the left knee, grab the inside of the foot, walk it up towards the toes. Okay, start to push it down and the elbow goes in. Stay here if you feel a stretch in the shoulder. Awesome, good for you. You don't need to go further. Otherwise, push it down more. Turn the knuckles so that they point towards the front of the mat. Elbow points up. Breathe here. Relax the face. All right, carefully unwind and release. Now just bring your arms by your sides, rest on one cheek. Take a couple breaths here. Okay, so now let's move into bow pose, back bending pose. Bend your knees, lifting the feet. Reach back, see if you can grab the feet or the ankles. Now, if that's not possible, you can grab your handy strap here. Somehow, fling it around your feet or get somebody to help you do that. Okay, hold on to the strap or hold on to your ankles. Inhale and exhale. Keep the knees parallel. On your inhale, start to pull the feet back to lift the heart up. Now, I like to pulse a little bit here and kind of move with the breath. So on the inhale, I tend to lift the chest. Exhale, come down. That just feels more natural than trying to hold the pose. Keep the feet active, so that just means push into the heels and the balls of the feet. Really open the heart. Pull the chest forward as you draw the shoulders back. And carefully release, not like a slingshot. Bring your hands beside your chest, curl your toes under, and then push up to the hands and knees. All right, now move your strap off the mat. Come to your downward facing dog. Bring the feet again as wide as the mat. Shift the hips. Bend the knees, straighten, bend. Okay, walk the feet back towards center again. Bend the knees, inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, bring the right knee to the outside of the right wrist, foot swings over to the left for pigeon pose. Okay, so again, right knee to the outside of the right wrist, foot swings over to the left side of the mat. Please do not grab the foot and pull it up so that your shin is parallel to the front of the mat. It doesn't matter. Your shin does not have to be parallel to the front of the mat, contrary to what you may have heard in the past. If you want to go deeper, if you need to feel more sensation in your hip, then bring the right knee back more, walk your left foot back more. That will deepen the pose. Do not grab the foot and yank it up. This pose can be hard on the knee and we don't want to mess up the knee. All right, now breathe here. Again, just going to where you feel sensation. We're not going to lay down in this one today. You're going to keep the heart lifted for more of a back bend. Okay, now, throughout this practice, we've done a lot of opening for the hips and the glutes and the quads, as well as the back, the spine, the chest, and the shoulder. Okay, so now we're going to start to put it together. If you are feeling enough sensation here and you're like, okay, this is good, please stay here, okay? Listen to your body. Otherwise, very slowly start to bend the back knee, lifting the foot very slowly. Reach back with the left hand. Okay, this would be, the next variation. Now, the next variation would be to bend the foot or bend the knee even more and hook the foot in the elbow. Now, this is where a lot of people start to kind of turn off to the side and get kind of crazy with it. I really like to keep the chest more towards the front of the mat. Okay, then you want to reach your top arm up and over. This is mermaid. So if you're not feeling that today, just stay in whatever variation feels good. But try not to turn off to the side to come into it. Really try to keep square. All right, very good. Gently release and walk it out. Remember, you can post your pictures to Instagram and tag me, Crystal Gray Yoga, and I'll take a look at it. Take a look at your form. All right, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, left knee to the outside of the left wrist, foot swings over to the right. Don't grab the foot and yank it up. If you need more sensation, and only if you need more sensation, bring your left knee back, walk the back foot back a little bit. Okay, so make sure you don't feel any compression in the low back. You don't feel any achiness in the knee. If you do, always push through the heel and the ball of the foot a little bit more. Okay, again, we're not leaning off to the side in pigeon. Stay there, or bend the right knee. Reach back, grab what you can, keep the chest square. So this might be where you stay. This might be where you stay, and that's okay. But if this is where you want to stay, totally fine. It's not about pushing yourself to get into the more advanced variation. The more advanced variation is whatever variation is right for your body. Okay, it doesn't matter how good you are at gymnastics. That doesn't make you an advanced yogi. All right, stay there, or start to bring the foot in more. Hook it around with the right elbow. I can tell I have not done this one for a while. Breathe here. Stay there, or reach the top arm over. So all the poses that we did in this practice today really led you up to be able to get into your deeper variation of this. Something that could, if you want to add on more to your practice, would just be to do more warming activities, like do some more sun salutations, maybe sun salutation A's and sun salutation B's, and that'll help you to get the body warmer. All right, carefully release. And walk your way back to wide leg down dog. And shift it. I lovingly release. Hold emotions. All right, come down to the hands and knees. Bring your knees as wide as the mat. Big toes can touch. Make your way into modified child's pose. Bring the forehead to the mat if that feels okay, or stack your hands or your fists and just really soften here. Come back to your affirmation. Say that a few times with your breath. Now starting to let your exhales get longer and longer. Just really helping you to release a little bit more, but also just to relax and slow everything down. Relax the face, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. And then slowly make your way up to the hands and knees. Swing your feet around. And come to seated. Just cross the legs, pull the flesh away from the sitting bones, coming into easy seated pose. Let your palms be open again. Again, signifying that you are open to release, to let go. You're ready and you're willing. Notice how you're feeling at this point in your practice with your eyes gently closed. Nice deep inhales, longer exhales. Again, you don't have to put a name on those things you're releasing. It doesn't matter. Just let go of those things, those old emotions. Anything that's stuck, that's stagnant, that you no longer need, that's no longer serving you, let it go. You are ready. And then lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open just a little bit. Then extend your legs out in front of you. Knees can be bent as needed. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. I like to pull the flesh back here. Inhale, big shoulder roll, lengthen the spine. Exhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt. So I like to keep the knees bent here so that you can keep your spine nice and long. Sometimes whenever we straighten the legs, it pulls the tailbone under and it makes the back round. So instead, if you bend your knees, you can come up on the sitting bones and tilt the pelvis forward. So only straighten the legs if you can keep the pelvis tilting forward and the upper body nice and long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you more advanced. It doesn't make you better. If you can do it with the legs straight, it doesn't matter. Listen to your body. Relax the shoulders. Tuck the chin slightly. Close your eyes. And breathing deep here. So this Paschimottanasana. And then slowly come up. Gently lay all the way down onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side, massaging the low back. Then we'll do legs up the wall pose without the wall. And just extend your legs up. You can have your knees bent and have the legs coming in towards the body a little bit, just so that you're not like really using your abs here a ton, because you want to be able to relax. And close your eyes. And then bring the knees in towards the chest again. Give them a squeeze. And then place the feet onto the ground. And one at a time, extend your legs out in front of you. Bring your feet about as wide as your mat. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Arms by the sides, a little bit wider than the mat. If you have a ponytail or a bun-in, you might want to take that out. Close your eyes. And breathe here. Enjoy these last few moments of Shavasana, your final resting pose, letting everything you just did during your practice assimilate body, mind, and spirit, and also just releasing anything else that could be left that's holding on, just letting it go. Start deepening your breath. Bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Turn your head gently from side to side. And reach your arms overhead and your feet in the opposite direction. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and roll onto your right hand side using your right arm for a pillow. Just take a couple breaths here. With the strength of your arms, slowly push yourself up to an easy seated pose or Sukhasana. Put your non-dominant leg in front or your opposite leg. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Palms open on the knees. Come back to your breath. Notice how you're feeling now at the end of your practice. Maybe there's some things you need to journal about and just take some time. Maybe you need to meditate a little bit. Just tune in to what you need for the rest of your day. And circle your hands together in front of your heart into prayer and just thank yourself for taking this time out of your day to do something so good for your body, your mind, and your spirit. Let's close our practice today and end our time together with one Om. Take a deep breath in. And then you can bow your head, bring your thumbs from your heart center up to your third eye, acknowledging the energy that's within you, around you, connects us all together and never goes away. That energy within me acknowledges the energy within you, and I thank you so very much for letting me guide you through your practice today. Namaste.